weeks. We have the math, we have iterated, we have test nets, we're ready to launch, we have a strong community, smart people, kind people. We've created a platform for learning, and we verified that it works. And now the question is, how do we translate all of this into something that can really scale? Okay. Well, we have to learn from the giants. Send protocol is standing on the shoulder of giants before us, and Google is one of them. So let's see here in a little more depth what they have taught us. Google was just another search engine, just like many others. So why did they become the best? They did so because they aligned with people's incentives. Everybody wanted to search and find answers. So you could come up with content and monetize that with AdSense, for example. People could bid on ad placement. But what's important to understand is that this was all driven by people. People selected their own keyword. You would share content you want to promote, but it was all community driven. Google is basically a giant community sourced engine. Without its community, it's nothing. So Google tapped into everybody's collective brain and became the collective consciousness of the financial world. And then they monetized it, which in turn led to even better information and search. But before that, it wasn't a good market fit. So another thing to point out is, why was Google free to use for the user? It was free because they thought that there should be no one setting the price. So Jack Levin told me, if I think like Larry Page, Google was free. It had no banner ads or anything. Everything was free. And that created a lot of adoption. So if we do the same thing for crypto, maybe we can do the same thing with adoption for crypto. Yahoo, they had ads first and content later. Google, they had content first and ads later. So Google had onboarding that people could practice freely. And nothing in crypto is free today except scams. So you have to give value in order to get value. If you command people's attention, you can control the system and it becomes exponential, but onboarding needs to be frictionless. So if you mint and exchange value with your friends, that's true freedom. It's a vehicle for you to practice the tenets of first principles of crypto. Free education, digital ownership amplified. Google had a motto in the beginning, which was a slogan, which was "Don't be evil," which is very aligned with first principles of crypto. Evil means take advantage of someone else. Instead of giving people first and feeding after, not belonging to anybody. So what's different with Zen? Are we building a new Google? No. Self-custody is the difference. It's your money, it should remain in your custody, period. Instead of one party owning the whole network, we collectively own the network this time. Self-custody means no one can really do evil to you. So this is all within the topics of self-custody, adoption, network, community, fairness, decentralization, and transparency. And as you remember from Xenducation hit number 1, these are the exact problems we are trying to solve. This is the point of it all. But we have to learn by standing on the giants that came before us and adopting these best practices of what has really worked, and then forking those mindsets with first principle. And as you know, self-custody is one of them. Google released the tech that connected people across time. You did work back in time and people today could search it. So Google became a better system to connect the past humans with the future humans. So Google is basically the whole nervous system of the world that goes on around us. Similarly, XEN can become a framework that connects people to the blockchain. We are releasing a human block of connectivity. This is XEN, and by the way, it's simple, where most projects is very complicated. XEN is trying to get massive adoption and massive use case, but really what it is, it's the linking of human minds that gives us success. Vitalik and the guys really gave us the programmable framework, programmable money, the second generation of blockchain. But what they didn't give us was the adoption. That's still something that we have to solve. We are using the blockchain-free framework. The community ends up paying for gas and building the nervous system. This has the effect of making people to be counted as important units. Everyone has a wallet and certain rights that they have through these wallets. The rights belong to you and no one else because you hold the keys. You can store value in it and connect to other humans with it. You store your rights in the wallet. So you can understand a community being built here is just as important as the tech, if not way more. XEN has barely started and we're all in the top 1% of total comeback metrics, so you don't have to worry about that. If you know, you know. But we are already getting traction for a thriving community with thousands of people. That's my point. But we can do way better. We can build a community that grows and that is connected through common ideas. You know, first step was to release the tech, and we're about to launch that. And then what's left is to foster and build the community. And the community can then build the networks through adoption and also build projects and protocols on top of them, you know, by the community to help adoption based on these first principles. So let me plant a seed for you guys. What would be the value of having DeFi based on these first principles? What would they look like? That's something you can think about. If you stick around in the XEN community, then this is something that we can build together. So XEN can become the financial lubricant of the world. We can have the lowest barrier to entry for humans to come into blockchain. You get to learn inexpensively how to operate it. If you think about it, what is really money, you know? Money is an abstract token of exchange. It's not value in itself. It's an exchange contract that you can exchange with time. So we used to trade an apple for an orange, but then we realized if we adopt a time factor in the trade, I can get my apples and you time value that you can either get oranges or bananas with tomorrow. So a token is a digital contract for exchange of value. So real value, what is that? Well, value is goods and services. Crypto is probably the world's best infection worldwide. It has no borders and it connects humans together because of built-in incentives and game theory. With XEN, you get some value, you do things with it with people, and you exchange it for other tokens of value peer-to-peer. And that has the effect of bringing the world value worldwide. And now we have a collective consciousness mapped. Now we have a system where everybody's consciousness is mapped to the human knowledge. And by the way, this should be very welcome by all blockchain related projects because we can broaden the market for everybody. So free education, digital ownership amplified. But that's anyway a little bit what we learned from Google and how XEN can fork that mindset by adopting what worked really well, but then adding the first principles and self-custody into the framework this time. So do you by now also realize why we never talk about price in the XEN community? If we try to solve real problems and build and do so by prioritizing values, value comes later. So if we align incentives based on shared values of sound first principles, then we can build something much, much stronger and better together. And now I will play a clip straight from Jack Levin himself, where he talks about price and adoption. And I just had to include this clip since it's very relevant to what we've talked about, but also will talk about. This interview is from one of the many performed by Jim Wrapped Crypto, and it's edited by Craig Arneson, two fantastic guys in the same community as well, providing a lot of value.
Thanks. So most of the crypto projects out there, when it comes to user adoption, it's all about when you should be buying it. Should you be buying the dips? Now, truthfully, when you're waiting for the dip, that actually means you're already too late. The project has launched. You did not get in on it early. You didn't know it existed. And so you're waiting now for a dip to get a better price. But you know what? It can dip, and it can dip more and more and more, especially in the bear market. Can dip all the way down to zero, or you lose your nerve and you sell it, right? So a lot of crypto is very price focused. Like we're all paying attention to the
price. But nobody
price.
knows why the price actually moves. But it is very price focused because it's all emotional.
It is all emotional. Ultimately, it's like throwing a dart against a dartboard across a hurricane. Like that is how it feels when you buy crypto out there, especially if it's a new coin.
If you're a new guy, yes.
I mean, like think about it. You get excited about the coin being pumped, and you're like, okay, maybe I'm not too late yet. So you buy the top, and then it dumps. And so when I thought of Xen, I thought, how can we possibly avoid this problem? And the way to avoid this problem is rather than being fixated on the price, we can actually focus on the user adoption instead. So as users get into the project, and as everybody lifts this crypto and this coin up into the world, you just end up with better value, right? You're not chasing the price. You're just participating in the community. You're learning about crypto. You're learning about self-custody and transparency, and you're learning to make right decisions. And the value really comes from the fact that more people are joining and lifting the crypto up. Now, a lot of people ask me about adoption and what it means for Xen and how will it be adopted, if ever. And so to that, I can answer with a question. So let's say that you're a business, any sort of business, and you want to adopt crypto as a currency for yourself. Now you have a choice. Would you be choosing crypto that has 25 million wallets or 25 million real users, or let's say 500,000? Clearly, you're going to be going after the largest market possible. So Xen has the possibility of actually gaining so much traction that it's going to be millions of users across the world without any sort of border limitation. And so the possibility of Xen being adapted as currency or exchange of value token would be very high, simply based on the fact that you can reach so many people out there that actually will be holding Xen. So the whole idea is to get Xen into the hands of people out there for free as fast as you can, and amplify the rewards for people that essentially bring more marketing to it or bring more adoption. So that's how we can all win. So if we can get most of the world adapt this cryptocurrency, or Xen specifically, which can happen, then the possibility that it becomes the better Doge or better Shiba, or maybe better than all of them combined. So, and that is, by the way, why Doge is used to go to AMC movies and buy Tesla merch and buy your Chipotle, right? Like Chipotle would not choose just any cryptocurrency out there. They're choosing the ones that have the most users. Like if you're a kid and you have $5, you could be minting Xen, and you could make a million, 2 million, 3 million Xen just by participating in the protocol. How can you get your technology into the hands of others? And when Google started, it was free search. And when I say free search, it didn't stuff the banner ads up your face, and it wasn't pop-up ads. It was actually working really well. It was very, very pure product that anybody could just use for free, right? And that's why ultimately Google won. Google won the war against all of the other search engines that were way ahead. I mean, you can have better Ethereum out there. I mean, when I say better Ethereum, I mean like a blockchain that actually is faster, has better language, and all of the above. But Ethereum is an open source project that gave rise to more value creators on blockchain. So stablecoins are on Ethereum right now. So I am a firm believer in open source. That's why my project is open source. I'm a firm believer in giving the product out to people so that you can have massive adoption to the thousands power, something like that.